In this video, we're going over the absolute best settings to rock here in Black Ops 6 right now. If you're trying to drastically improve your aim, accuracy, as well as gun skill, you came to the right place. If that sounds good, feel free, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on those post notifications. Let me know down in the comment section right now, what are your current sensitivity settings? As you can see here, I play with an Xbox Elite controller on PC with one paddle on the back set up for jumping, the short paddle. I'm also gonna add these settings are gonna work no matter what controller you are playing with, and also no matter what console you are playing on, and obviously controller on PC. Now for the button layout, I recommend you guys play on tactical. Tactical is gonna be the best button layout to play on, even if you have a controller with paddles or one paddle on the back. This is going to be remapping your crouch as well as prone button. By simply pressing down on the right thumbstick, you're going to be able to perform a drop shot while still being aimed down sight, and also get in and out of cover a lot faster. When you couple this with the Omni movement, this is going to allow you to win more gunfights at close range, medium range, as well as longer ranges, and that's going to be a massive W here in Black Ops 6 with the adjusted movement as well as aim assist. Now stick layout preset is going to be on default, but you guys can see my horizontal stick sensitivity as well as my vertical stick sensitivity has been changed. I am running a 6.6. This is going to be the perfect sensitivity in Black Ops 6 as of right now. This is going to be fast enough that you can turn on players if they are behind you, but also not fast enough to the point where it's going to be uncontrollable to outgun players at those longer ranges, because that's where a lot of players are going to fall short. It's easier to keep people out at close to medium range. It's long range people are going to be struggling at, and 6.6 is going to be that healthy balance, allowing you to outgun players at close range, medium range, as well as long ranges. My personal opinion, the best sensitivity to run. Now we are going to be going over some additional settings that are going to amplify this sensitivity setting. Now simplified controls preset, this is going to be turned off. Low motion strain preset, this is also going to be turned off. Bumper ping is turned off, and obviously my swap buttons are going to be turned off as well. I like to have my controller vibration turned off because I do not want to have any type of stick play or rumbling in my controller that's going to be throwing me off at longer ranges. I highly recommend you guys going ahead and doing this, especially if you are struggling at winning gunfights at those longer ranges. Now for my dead zones, I have not made any adjustments. Dead zones are going to be dependent on your own controller health. In my experience, Xbox Elite controllers have very good durability, and even though that I play the game every single day, I don't have any stick drift, which is a massive W. If you are playing on PC and thinking about picking up a controller with paddles in the back that's not going to be suffering from stick drift, I am going to be linking the Xbox Elite controller at the top of the description. Now we're gonna go over to the aiming. Now sensitivity and multiplier, we're gonna be adjusting some of these as well. Now my third person sensitivity I have not changed, but you guys can see here my ADS sensitivity in multiplayer, I went ahead and made some adjustments here. This is going to be very important. I recommend going ahead and bumping this down to 0.65. This is going to be very important because we're going to be minimizing the amount of stick play that we have in our controller, even if we are running a higher sensitivity. Now what I mean by stick play is the ability to outgun players at longer ranges, even if you are running a higher sensitivity. I always recommend players to run on that 4 to 6 sensitivity window and to make adjustments as you go up or down. If you are playing on a 4 sensitivity, you want to have this at a 0.75. If you guys are playing on a 5 or a 6, you can go ahead and have this at 0.65. And if you want to go ahead and make an adjustment and bump it up to 7, if 6 is something you don't like, having this adjusted to 0.55 is going to be allowing you to be a little bit more accurate at those longer ranges. So essentially you can fine tune your sensitivity settings when you go ahead and make changes in the ADS sensitivity multiplayer, which is going to be a massive W here in Black Ops 6. Everything else here is going to be pretty much standard. I have not made any changes here because they are not necessary. Obviously, target aim assist is going to be turned on. Motion sensor behavior is going to be turned off. And a number of these settings are also going to be on default. I recommend you guys going ahead and keeping these standard. Now, we're also going to be going ahead and making some adjustments here. This is where you can actually go ahead and adjust your aim response curve type, which in my personal opinion, you should definitely go ahead and keep this at standard. A lot of people are going to be recommending linear or dynamic here in Black Ops 6. Honestly, I was playing on linear in Modern Warfare 3 as well as Modern Warfare 2, but with the adjustments to aim assist here in Black Ops 6, standard, believe it or not, is going to be the way to go as of right now. I will be making a video on how you guys can abuse the aim assist and take full advantage of it, especially if you guys are playing on controller, in a later video. But as of right now, standard is going to feel like dynamic or linear from the previous CODs, as weird as that sounds. So I recommend going ahead and having this set to standard. If you have already some presets enabled from Modern Warfare 2 that you went ahead and ported to Black Ops 6 or Modern Warfare 3 to Black Ops 6, if you did not play Modern Warfare 3, I recommend going ahead and putting this back to standard. Now, custom sensitivity per zoom, I go ahead and have this turned off. Now, we are going to be going ahead and talking about some of the movement. I have tactical sprint assist. This is going to be turned on. I like to go ahead and have this enabled. Now, your sprint assist delay, you want to go ahead and set this to 0. This is very important because if you don't do this, you're going to have a delay coming off of the sprint, making your aim down sight as well as your aim sprint out speed slower, which you definitely do not want to have happen. So make sure you guys have this at 0, but everything else here is going to be pretty much the same. I've not made any other adjustments. I have this turned off. Crouch assist is going to be turned off. Corner slice is going to be turned off. My slide dive behavior is going to be on hybrid because I do not want to be doing any unnecessary movements that may get me killed in gunplay. But everything else here is going to be either shut off or left on. You guys can go ahead and see the settings that I have made adjustments to. Again, a lot of these are going to be personal preference, but for me personally, I do not like to accidentally go ahead and make any unnecessary movement that I did not specifically go ahead and activate my player to do. So that's why I have those settings set the way they are. And then for the combat settings here, everything else is going to be pretty much the same here. I've not made any adjustments except going ahead and adjusting your C4 detonation. I like to go ahead and have it set by 1 by 1 because if you don't do this, you're going to have to throw both C4s before they do blow up if you want to activate one. So make sure you guys have this 1 by 1, but everything else here is going to be pretty much the same. I've not made any changes under the controller settings for combat. Now let's go over the graphic settings. We're going to start off with the quality this time because a lot of settings are actually enabled that don't need to be enabled. These honestly are going to be dependent on the strength of your PC, and if you're on console, some things are going to be different as well. But I am going to go ahead and quickly showcase exactly what I am running. Upscaling, I've actually switched this to Fidelity CAS, and I've made a number of changes here as well. Some of my resolution settings are going to be turned down. This is because I like to play the game and record at the same time, or stream and record at the same time while playing. So obviously some settings are going to be turned off or reduced in quality, just so my PC is going to be running as optimal as possible, running obviously recording and streaming and playing at the same time. I'm going to go ahead and showcase exactly what I'm pretty much doing here for all these settings. Again, if you have a crazy PC, you don't really have to turn off all these settings, but even if you might have a good PC, if you want to go ahead and disable this and maybe start up a YouTube channel, stream and record, feel free to go ahead and copy what I have done. Now for the view settings, you guys can see here, I have obviously made some adjustments. I do recommend going ahead and bumping up your FOV. It comes standard at 90, 120 FOV. I recommend playing at the 100 to 120 FOV range. This is going to be giving you a bigger picture, allowing you to see more on your screen. And if you couple this with the ADS field of view set to affected, sometimes it is going to be default on independent. This is going to be giving you essentially mirroring whatever optic or iron sight weapon you guys are running, that 100 or 120 FOV, depending on what you select. This is going to be allowing you to have a lot less visual recoil and making long range gunfights way easier to win. This is going to be a setting that you want to couple with that 4 to 6 sensitivity window with that 0.55 to 0.75 ADS sensitivity, as well as obviously your field of view and field of view set to affected here. This is going to be a great setting to go ahead and have at your disposal when you are trying to fine tune your sensitivity setting and win more gunfights at longer ranges. Now, these settings I have here: world motion blur is turned off, weapon motion blur is going to be also turned off. These are settings that you absolutely must go ahead and turn off. If you have these turned on, shut them off immediately. You're going to see a drastic, and I mean a drastic, improvement to your gameplay, which is a massive W. You really can't say that for a lot of settings that you can just go ahead and flip a switch and it's going to have a drastic improvement. These two settings are definitely going to be those, so make sure you guys have those shut off. Everything else here is going to be the same, but I do go ahead and have my inverted flashbang turned on just because I do not want to have that annoying standard flashbang screen. If you don't mind it, you can keep it off, but personally, I go ahead and turn this on. And these are going to be the graphic settings, view, and quality that you guys should be rocking here in Black Ops 6 as of right now. Now, don't forget about the audio settings. They don't call me ears for nothing. These are very important here in Black Ops 6. I'm happy to say that these settings are all going to be free to have access to. We don't have to have any of these locked behind a paywall, thankfully. Now, obviously, master game volume is going to be turned up to 100. I like to go ahead and hear what's going on in game. My gameplay music volume, as you guys can probably tell, I had this reduced down to 30. It's a little too insane here in Black Ops 6. It sounds good, but I have to go ahead and crank that down. Now, what you also want to do here, which is very important, if you guys have a headset and you do not want to pay for the 5-year subscription, you guys can select headphones bass boost. I have Astro A40 TRs. These are some dinosaur headsets that came out years ago. If you know, you know, and they are still kicking it here in Black Ops 6. Perfect. I can hear footsteps clear as day halfway across the map. This is going to allow you to essentially have an audio UAV, and you can predict where people are going to be coming based off of their footsteps as well as gunfire. When you have headphones bass boosted, all that's going to be amplified for free, which is going to be one of the best settings to rock here in Black Ops 6. Everything else here is going to be pretty much the same. For me personally, I have mute license audio turned on, obviously because I make content. We can't have any of that nonsense going on. That be happening all the time on my car channel. Can't have that going on here. So we're going to be going ahead and having this turned off. Again, everything else here is going to be turned off. I do not like to have any other additional settings that are going to be throwing off my audio cues because my name is Ears. That's why I named my channel Ears. Now, for the voice chat, again, these are going to be pretty much set up to how you want to go ahead and engage with people in game. I have push to talk enabled because obviously I make content. It would be kind of insane if I was to be live comming or just making videos and annoying everybody in the lobby. That's exactly why I have this on push to talk. If I want to talk to somebody, I can easily go ahead and flip this. But, you know, just to be respect for everybody in the lobby, I have this set to push to talk. But these are going to be all the audio settings I do recommend going ahead and changing here in Black Ops 6 right now. And finally, let's go over the interface settings. They've made a lot of changes to the interface settings here in Black Ops 6. A lot more things we can fine tune, which is quite nice. Everything else here, I went ahead and pretty much kept the same. I've not really made any adjustments here. What you are going to be seeing in a lot of my gameplays is my telemetry is turned off. I don't like having all that on my screen. It's just a lot of clutter that I don't like. So I have all these turned off by default. You guys can make adjustments to that if you want to have your connection meter turned on or your ping or latency. Me personally, I don't want to see how bad the connections are, so I like to go ahead and kind of keep that shut off. Now, for readability, again, all these are pretty much just going to be the same. I've not made any changes here. There's really nothing you need to go ahead and adjust. But for gameplay HUD, there definitely are some changes you want to go ahead and make happen. Now, for your HUD preset, you can actually go ahead and change the way that your HUD is going to be set up. I like to go ahead and have mine on standard. Standard, in my personal opinion, is just going to be the best, but if you want to go ahead and have a different HUD, you can actually do that here in Black Ops 6. You can also go ahead and make changes to how you actually have your mini map. Now, you can have your mini map set to round or square. Sometimes it is going to glitch out like it did right now, and it's going to be reverting it back to round when you want to have this at square. Square is going to be very, very important going ahead and allowing you to see a bigger mini map picture, and overall it's going to be a lot easier to read and interpret. If you want a video here in Black Ops 6 on how you can read and interpret and predict spawns with the square mini map, let me know down in the comment section. I can definitely make that happen. But everything else here is gonna be pretty much the same. I've not made any adjustments because realistically, all you need to do here is make sure your mini map is gonna be set to square and it has not been reverted back to round, because you guys saw it sometimes can happen here in Black Ops 6. And for the colors, you can also go ahead and adjust your filters depending on if you're colorblind or color deficient. Luckily here in Black Ops 6, it is easy to see what's going on the map, even though I am partially color deficient with a lot of reds, oranges, browns, and greens, but I've not had any issues in Black Ops 6 so far. So all thing I've made a change to is make sure that my mini map is going to be set to square. But these are going to be, you know, the settings you guys want to go ahead and make changes. And sometimes it does glitch out. It did it again. Make sure you guys have your mini map set to square, and everything else here again is going to be pretty much the same. I don't think you need to make any changes under all of these settings. But again, that's going to be my recommendation. These are going to be the best settings you guys should be rocking here in Black Ops 6. Again, make sure you guys play on the tactical button layout no matter what control you guys have. I have an Xbox Elite controller on PC. I have it linked at the top of the description if you want to pick one up. I vouch for these controllers heavy. I've been running these since Advanced Warfare. Insane. Now, again, horizontal sensitivity, I have it at 6. Vertical, I have it at 6 as well. Overall, gonna be the best sensitivity to run if you want to be able to turn on players and still have that controllability at longer ranges. And then obviously what you also want to do here is you want to make sure that your sensitivity multiplier is adjusted to 0.65, which is going to be a lot easier to take out at those longer ranges because you're going to have less stick play. And then finally, you want to go over to your graphics settings, go over to view, and make sure your FOV is set to 100 to the 120 range with the ADS field of view set to affected. With these settings, you are going to be locked in for Black Ops 6 and outgunning everybody you see. So if that sounds good and these settings do help you guys out, feel free, let me know down in the comment section. And as always, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on those post notifications, stay up to date with any and all best settings, best class setups, and also tips and tricks and updates that are gonna be going live here in Black Ops 6. I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. Deuces.